So I was just sitting here pretty much just minding my own business when all of a sudden a particular little game got like plopped down right in front of me. Happens to be called Duskers. And I'm going to tell you, I had not heard anything about this game prior to actually having like played it. So I just went in blind, and man, is this a solid game. So what the heck is Duskers? Duskers is a roguelike science fiction game in which you as the player have woken up from cryogenic sleep, and you find that there are no signals coming to you from anywhere. More or less, that's what it happens. You send out a distress signal, and you find that no one is replying back to you. So in response to this, you have to try to survive in what is, in essence, a mostly dead universe. Not entirely dead, because there's always things that want to kill you. Those things never die. You can't kill them. So the entire premise is that you have to try to survive in a dead galaxy. All that you have with you are 3 scavenger drones, and you have to go from derelict ship to derelict ship, scavenging what supplies you can get out of them, and trying to figure out what in the world actually happened to cause the world to be as dead as it currently is. So the gameplay has 2 separate parts. The first of these parts is scavenging the derelict ships. You start by choosing the drones that you want to bring with you. Each of them is differentiated by upgrades they can have, which is pretty much just upgrades to hit points and speed, and what modules they have attached to them. And these modules do various specific tasks, like creating a cloaking shield around it, creating an actual shield, or attaching to generators to power doors. There's all variety of different attachments that these drones can have. And you have to choose up to 4 of the drones that you have in your ship to send out on a mission. You go from room to room looking for scrap, fuel, and potentially even new drones that you can bring with you, and ship upgrades that can help you in future missions. But things aren't all so fine and dandy because there are terrible things in the ships trying to kill you. These things can range from a swarm of terrible bee-like creatures, which I hate vehemently, terrible algae-like growths, and then things that just jump out of the darkness and eat you to death. So as opposed to directly confronting your enemies, you usually have to use a level of wit in order to try to outclass them. Your drones themselves don't have any guns, but certain ships do, luring enemies into particular rooms, waiting for enemies to leave rooms, and then closing doors on them. That is the key to actually being able to get access deeper into ships and actually get the good, nice loots that everyone wants, because everybody wants loot. So to control your drones, you've got 2 separate options. The first is you can just take control of them with the arrow keys, which is basic. Everyone knows how to do a top-down moving game. The other one is you always have a console in the bottom right-hand side of your screen where you can type out commands for your actual robots to execute. These commands can go from moving a drone from one room to another, opening doors, closing doors, or using any of the particular modules that happen to be on your drone. The other key portion of the game is the actual galaxy map, where you move between different derelict hulks, trying to choose the best ships to actually land on to get the most scrap and hopefully, not get your drones killed. It's here that you can upgrade your drones, repair your drones, because over the course of all of these missions, both the equipment that your drones hold and potentially even your drones themselves can be damaged and need to be repaired, and they cost cold, hard scrap that you can only get, you guessed it, by scavenging vessels, or actually breaking down drones, but who wants to break down a drone? So the big goal of the game is to figure out why the universe has gone silent, because you're just thrown into the world. You have no clue what's going on, neither does your ship, which happens to have an artificial intelligence on it. So your main goal is to figure out why everything is dead. So I'll start out by saying that I think this game is great. Not only is it great, but it's a really unique game, and there aren't very many games that come out that are as different from everything else around it as a game like Duskers is. First off, the aesthetic of the game is excellent. It's not a flashy game with really good, realistic graphics, but it fits perfectly with the tone of the game. What you see is the monitor of some computer that your actual person who you're playing as is actually controlling the drones through. The aesthetic of the individual ships makes them look dark, foreboding, menacing. Around any corner there could be some sort of terrible creature that's going to jump out and try to kill you, and quite frankly there probably will be, because there you go. I personally almost want to put this game down as a horror game, because it's just got that horror feel to it. So much so that I was so immersed and seriously into the game that when one of the terrible creatures jumped out and got one of my drones, I literally jumped 20 feet. The gameplay itself is just so much fun. It's not fun in the action-packed run around shoot things. You get tons of flashy lights and everything's happy. And I'm not going to say that that's a bad type of game. In fact, it can be done really well, and I've played many games that are like that I liked quite a bit. But this game is just really satisfying. It fits its niche so well. The roguelike aspects meld perfectly with this kind of gameplay. It's not forced at all. It doesn't feel like this game is only roguelike to get more hours out of it. And I mean, this game also deals with just scavenging the wrecks of ships. It's not actually terribly action-packed. It's very suspenseful, I will give it that. I get a very Alien sort of vibe, not like Alien as in extraterrestrials, but the movie Alien sort of vibe to the entire situation, where you know there's a creature somewhere on the ship, but you just don't know if when you open this door you're gonna get eaten alive. Admittedly, the console controls can take a little while to get used to. Personally, I've played a lot of games like Hacknet and things that use console controls all the time, so I was a bit more used to it going in. But that's just an issue that you work through with just a bit of playing the game. The game definitely does a good job of showing you how to play it, but then not so much holding your hand. Because I'll tell you, there are a lot of stupid things that you can do as a player, and I will tell you I've done said stupid things. Opening your airlock on your best drone is just the best feeling you can ever have. Deep down there, you're just like, oh, there goes my drone tumbling into space. I made a great decision today. Now, I don't want to go on like this is some perfect game, because although it is a game that is excellent, I think that this is an exceptional game that deserves a lot of attention, but it's by no means perfect. The pathfinding of the individual drones when you try to send them from one place to another is quite frankly absolutely wretched. I've seen drones get stuck trying to get through a doorway, but they're going slightly to the left of the doorway, so they just ram themselves into the wall and then decide that they can't go where they're trying to go. So the pathfinding is not all that great. On occasion, I've had issues with controls like the pry command, which pries open unpowered doors. I had some issues with it as the drones couldn't figure out that they were standing right in front of the door that they were trying to pry open. I managed to get it to work by just doing the command twice, and somehow that worked. But that's still an issue. And I think also that potentially the game kind of spoon feeds you the information you need to figure out what's going on in the world. So the text logs that you get, which are what is supposed to tell you what's happened in the universe, are fine in and of themselves, but they're constantly interjected by your AI saying ooh, this dude said something about gray ooze. That could be very important to figuring out what happened. Ooh, let's note this in our logs. So I feel like in terms of the narrative of the thing, it's kind of holding your hand a bit, and it's not the best. But in saying that, these are really small issues in the grand scheme of the game, because it, in and of itself, is a great game. I started playing it and didn't stop playing it until a disgustingly late time. I played hours the first time I picked it up, and that wasn't just to get a lay of the land. I was enjoying every minute of it, and I didn't want to put the game down when 2 a.m. rolled around and I had to actually go to sleep, because apparently humans need to sleep or something. Overall, I definitely have to say that Duskers is an excellent game. I am so happy that the dev brought this game to my attention, because I'm concerned that it might have gone under my radar if the devs hadn't shot me an email. And quite frankly, if this game had gone under my radar, I would be quite sad, because it is an excellent game. So Duskers is coming out of its early access tomorrow on May 18th, 2016, in case you're not watching this the day it came out. Plebs. So if you're looking for a, quite frankly, excellent and unique game that is totally worth your time to play, I'm going to say right now, pick up Duskers. It's going to be $20 once it's released. Maybe a bit of a steep price, but I would say it's totally worth it for such a sick game. So with that, as always, people, thanks for watching, and of course, enjoy the rest of your day.